writing a grocery list, using GPS instead of learning the route. You remember those Thomas guides? I know I do. Those are all examples of outsourcing a mental task to an external tool. Researchers call this cognitive offloading. And for those examples, it's actually pretty harmless. I mean, you don't actually need to keep your grocery list in your head. But there are skills where offloading doesn't save you effort, it costs you capacity. AI is the most powerful cognitive offloading tool ever devised. And a lot of people using it right now have no idea which category they're in. By the end of this video, you will. If you use AI regularly for writing, analysis, problem solving, this video is for you. There is a distinction that I don't think a lot of us are making right now. And I'm going to give you a 4-step framework that puts you on the right side of it. Honestly, once you see it, you can't unsee it. My name is Ted Gould. I spent over 30 years as a professional musician. I've been a classroom educator and a tech integration coach. I've taught in real classrooms. I've built real AI tools. And honestly, I've made most of the mistakes that I'm about to describe to you, which is honestly the reason why I can describe them this clearly. This channel, AI Liberation Lab, is where I talk about AI in a practical sense, without hype, without selling you on tools, without fear. Practical. Just what I think is working and what I think doesn't work, where we need to build literacy and use these tools with fidelity, not just using technology for the sake of using technology. If that sounds useful to you, subscribe now. I've also put together a workflow checklist to help you implement what we talk about in this video, and the link is in the description. All right, let's get into it. So the story that most people believe is that AI makes you more capable. You produce more, you produce faster, and that's true. But here's where the story leaves something out. There's a difference between producing more and getting better. They're not the same thing. Like when you use a calculator, you get the answer faster, but you don't get worse at math because you weren't really building up a math skill in the first place. You were doing arithmetic, and that's a fine thing to offload from time to time, right? But when you use an AI tool to write, to reason, to analyze, you're offloading the exact skills that get sharper through use. Writing makes you a better writer. Reasoning through a hard problem makes you a better thinker. When AI does that work and you just accept the output, the skill doesn't develop, it atrophies. And that's not a theory, that's just how skill development works. Now, I believe that there are 3 patterns of AI use. Pattern 1, you prompt, you get an output, and then you move on. That's the most common pattern. And over time, it slowly degrades the skills that you're outsourcing, that you and I are outsourcing. Pattern 2, you prompt, you get the output, you use the parts you agree with and ignore the parts you don't. But you're not evaluating the AI, you're simply confirming yourself. That's a bias loop, and it gets tighter the longer you're in it. Pattern 3, you prompt, you get an output, and then you interrogate it. You ask, is this right? What's missing? What would I push back on here? You treat AI and the AI output the way a good editor treats a first draft, with respect for what's there and zero tolerance for what's not good enough. That's the pattern that builds skill, because the thinking is still yours. Now, I want you to think about the last time you used AI to write something, anything. What did you do with that output? Did you actually evaluate it? Did you push back on it? Did you rewrite parts of it in your own voice? Or did you just clean it up a little and move on? Be honest with yourself. Nobody's watching. Listen, I've done this. But the answer is more important than the tool you used. How do you stay in pattern 3? Prompt, evaluate, revise, and apply. Step 1, prompt. That's the part that everybody focuses on, and it may be the least important step. Sure, prompting is important, but in this framework, it may be the least important step. Step 2, this is the step that some people, a lot of people, maybe even most people skip entirely. Read it like a skeptic, not hostile, just curious. Now, this is the most important step. This is where the thinking happens. This is where you stay in the loop. And that's step 3. Revise. You rewrite, you actually rewrite in your own voice, and you make it yours, actually yours. Listen, this step takes longer. I know that. For you and for me. But this is the step that keeps you sharp. Step 4, you apply. You use it. Whatever it is, you send it. But because you went through steps 2 and 3, you can actually stand behind it. You did the work. If someone asks you about it, you can stand behind it. AI is the most powerful cognitive offloading tool ever devised. But it looks exactly like productivity. Right up until it doesn't. Prompt, evaluate, revise, apply. I really do believe that this is one of the most important habits that you and I can be building right now, because you and I are worth more than our outputs. And that's really what this channel is about. Not just the tools, but the people using the tools. If you want to come on this journey with me of building AI literacy, talking about what works, wrestling through what doesn't work or what needs improving, where we can learn from each other, teach each other, then I invite you to hit that subscribe button. Download the checklist in the description. The next video is going to go deeper on education and student thinking. That one is definitely worth your time.